It's midnight 30. What do we do at 12:30 in the morning? We make holsters. Now, I started this damn holster at like 8 o'clock. Like maybe 8:30. And I'm just finishing it now. And I tell you, I don't ever want to do one of these again. But it came out good. I'm going to save the blocking. All right. I had an order for like 7 or 8 holsters. This is the final one, and I skipped over it when I first printed it, and I saw it, and I'm like, they really want this combo? The answer was yes. So, it was a Smith & Wesson 686 4-inch revolver. Now, the only mold out there is a blue gun, so that's what we got. And as you can see, I went ahead and filled with Bondo the cylinder, and this is the ejection pin where, you push it and it comes out. Also, what I do is I take a piece of wood and I fill in the trigger guard, and if you can see that shine, I fill it with epoxy on both sides. So all the divots are, like I said, blocked, and all is good in the hood. Now, let's talk revolvers for a little bit, and that's going to be the basis of this video. I'm going to walk through how I did this holster. I'm just not going to show you the steps I took to do it. Well, active steps, because it's done. So, when you do revolvers, this spot right here needs to be blocked some of the times. In this case, I left it open because I didn't think I was going to have enough definition to be able to have this cause an issue. Well, I actually did this on 6 pieces of foam. Oh, I'm tired. So, 6 pieces of foam, 3 on the bottom, 3 on top, and you'll see it. Actually, I was extremely impressed. Now, this is how I did it. Now, when you do this, blocking and supports are your best friend. So, like I said, I'm going to walk you through all of this. This was, let me just show you. If I was to get this order 7 years ago, it would have been a hell no. And when I got it, I was like, oh, shit. But I got it before gun show weekend, so I left for the gun show weekend. It's Monday night. And I've been prepping myself mentally to do this because this is one of those like, oh my God, I don't want to do it. But it came out freaking awesome. 2x4, cutting instruments, all you need. A little imagination. So, 686 revolver with a speed hood, right? And RTI 34. Yeah, how are you going to do that, Jimmy? All right. Here's how I did it. I can't use my normal blocking. Why? That's going to be annoying. We're going to have to build up here and here and here. Build up here. And it's not fun. Also, blue guns use a completely different epoxy, like multi-molds. This is fiberglass reinforced resin. This is not. This is just straight up epoxy resin, right? So this can be warmed up, and we could actually bend it in half and just do anything we want with it. We don't want that happening in the press. So how do we do that? That's where the 6 pieces of foam came in handy, but you also want to block it evenly on both sides, and that'll help everything. So on top of this massive plate right here, okay, you guys know we have to do that. And then we used a 1/4-inch dowel set right here to do that, and a 2x4. And that 2x4 needed to house this and this. And this is what it came up with. Now, you cannot, or you can, but you're going to lose a lot of shape. So if we take this and we mount this here, or in a spot where it's comfortable when you grab it, and that means we'd have to put this down here. So this whole thing, that just doesn't look good. And that's not going to it's not going to build well because there's no supports down here, and it's going to push on the retention plate, and it's not going to work right. So you need to think and overcome and adapt, and it's a long process. So I built this blocking to work. This was, like I said, a 2x4, and it's hollow. See that? Oh, wrong way. Just like that. So cut the opening for the cylinder release, and this is hollow to go over the cylinder, and bam, what do you know? I have a little bit of adjustability depending on where I want it, but I had that right there, and that allowed me to put this piece of blocking right here, and I used a 1/4-inch rubber bushing, and that went right there. So this blocking on this was set up just like this. Now, you can do this on any type of revolver for your foamies. So I'll tell you, next time I have to do a revolver that's a foamy, it's gonna be that, and it happens. So I am keeping this. So this is a design that you were gonna want. That I just carved it out of wood. I didn't care. There are no F's to give. I just, with a Dremel and bandsaw and all that stuff, just to get it to where I needed it, and that's that. Now the other side, it worked out great. So we got this piece right here, and what do you know? This piece was right here, and I went and I cut it off, and that looks like this. You notice I channeled it right here, and that sat right there, just like that, and that became a platform for this part, which was right here, right? So pressed it again in 6 pieces of foam, and this is what came of it. Oh, that looked weird. All right, so I have never, because I didn't think it would work, and I might use this in other builds too, depending on the setup, but I actually took these two and I bolted them together like this to save the space, because otherwise you have to draw it out, because this will hit the mount when you do it, and then it just won't work. So I bolted the RTI plate to the speed lock, and this is what created. So when I used this as blocking, that's right here. So that bumped that up. So obviously the cylinder doesn't hit that inside. You can see that right there. All right, and the hood, perfect. So as you can see, I was very skeptical with the definition, but it came out perfect because there's no curve, and it actually stayed. This couldn't have gone any better. Now, as you can see, I left that out for blocking, and the reason was, like I said, I didn't think I was going to get this definition. That snap is this part right here getting into play. But the retention couldn't be any better. So throw that in place. Obviously, it's not coming out. Hit the button. I pushed on it. Hit the button. Schwab bang. And that's it. There is one thing I need to do, and I do this on all the Speedies that go out, is I take a little white lithium grease. You can find this at AutoZone, and I put it at the end of a Q-tip, because I buy these industrial Q-tips that are massive, and I place it right there. Then I'll work it a little bit, and that lubes up the slide surfaces, because sometimes you get it and it'll stick, and that helps it to not do that. So that is a big how do you do for something like this. But again, revolvers, they're really not that hard. You just have to think outside the box. Take a 2x4, take all your blocking, and you cut out everything that's a revolver, and you leave what you want. It's adapting that plate. So you got to figure out I want this plate on this handgun right here. What's the blocking need to look like to be flat? And this was my answer. So hopefully this gets you to thinking what else you can do to properly block the firearms that you're using. This will work on real guns as well. I've used pens on revolvers. It's very rare to do revolvers because I don't get a lot of call for them, but I have the ability to do quite a few. The 686 4-inch is one of them. So this one, thank God, is going to be going out tomorrow, and I'm hoping they enjoy it. And actually, it's going out with the thigh rig. So everything is all Loctited together, and I'm actually going to leave it open. And I'm going to tell you, from experience, if you Loctite this bolt, okay, and you sit here, and this is what you do forever, that bolt will loosen up. So make sure you put Loctite on it generously, and just make sure it's snug all the way. Let it sit overnight or for a few hours, and that shit ain't going anywhere. So, bam, and there you go. So like I said, revolvers, take your time, think about what you need to do, and get it done. I also want to give a huge shout out to HolstersmithAndKnifeKits.com. Without them, none of this really would have been possible. All the material, all the hardware, everything literally in one place. So the guys there, really, they blow everybody out of the water. There's nothing more you can ask of them. So a huge thank you to them. And now, just so you guys remember, a lot of this stuff, like if I find a new tool, a new part, or anything like that, I will actually put in the description of the video where I got it, the name of it, and all the information of the video is in the description. So I'm not gonna lie, I laugh if I see like, where'd you get your material, or where'd you do this, or where'd you do that, when it's literally in the description of the video. But again, all of your needs, all of your hardware, all of your parts, everything in the best customer service. Go to holstersmith.com. You know, it's not even 1 o'clock yet, but I think I'm going to do one more holster. We'll see. It's always, well, no. I was going to say there's always tomorrow, but it's already tomorrow. But technically, there's still... Good night.